Hello! I hear you want to learn more about universal design. Let's get started.
Universal design. Why does it matter? Inclusive education relies on diversity, and diversity means looking through a strength-based lens to see that everyone has strengths and that everyone has space to grow. This is key to truly inclusive practice. We learned from Dr. Shelley Moore that to meet children's needs universally, we need to design for those in the margins. Transforming Inclusive Education by Shelley Moore.
Hi, my name is Shelley Moore, and I'm a third-year PhD student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. As Canadians, we have a reputation for finding and embracing the strength in our diversity. This value, however, hasn't been reflected in our classrooms, which still segregates students by ability, especially students with developmental disabilities. There's a gap in our understanding about what we know inclusive education to be, philosophically, versus what we understand and the importance of understanding inclusion in our practice. This is the question I'm trying to answer in my research, is how can we find the value in the day-to-day practice in our classrooms in terms of inclusive education? So how am I going to explain this to you? Now I can sit here and try and describe this, or we could have a little bit more fun. Why don't we go bowling? So let's talk about bowling. You have 10 pins, you have 2 balls, and you have a lane. The goal is to knock down as many pins as you can. But if you don't get them all, it's okay because you have another chance. But when I bowl and roll the ball down the middle and I don't knock them all down, what often ends up happening to me is that there's 2 pins left standing on either end, and they stare at you. It's the 7-10 split, and it's the hardest shot in bowling. How is bowling like teaching? The ball was the lesson, the pins are the kids. We aim for the middle, we do the best we can. The pins that are left standing, we often have another chance to kind of get to them, but at the end of the day, those 2 pins that are staring, looking at you, are kids who need the most support and are kids who need the most challenge. So we end up choosing one, and the other one is left standing. I just took all the fun out of bowling. Now, I don't know how many times you've watched professional bowling, but I spent an afternoon watching professional bowling, and let me tell you, there was not one bowler who rolled that ball down the middle of the lane. They throw the ball down the lane at a curve. And I was actually really curious about this, so I called up a professional bowler. He was so excited. I don't think he gets a lot of calls about education. He said the reason why the ball has to enter at a curve is because you will knock down more pins and create a bigger domino effect if you enter at that angle. But in order to do that, you have to change your aim. In order to knock down the most pins with one shot, he aims for the pins that are the hardest to hit. Now let's just let this sink in for a second. We are taught to teach the head pins. We are not taught to teach to the kids who are the furthest and the hardest to get to, the kids with autism, the kids with Down syndrome. The part that's critical here, and it really aligns with universal design for learning, is that so often the supports that we design for those kids on the outside of the lane are actually supports that all of the kids need. This is the part we need to understand if inclusive education is going to move forward in Canada. How can we find this value of diversity in our classrooms between the students? This is not just important for the outside pins, but it's critical for every single one of us. And just think, all we need to do is change our aim. Look how bowling changed education.
Principles of Universal Design. Children have a variety of learning styles and need to have the opportunity to learn in multiple ways. This is the way to create that sense of belonging that every child needs. Universal design will fill your educator toolbox, making inclusive practice so much easier. There are 3 principles of universal design: representation, action, and engagement. Each one is necessary to create spaces and places where children feel they belong. First, we need to consider multiple means of representation. This refers to the ways that information is shared in your classroom and how children absorb it. It means diversity. Think about visual information, play materials, technology, color, language, sounds. Second, we need to consider multiple means of action and expression. This refers to how children react and respond to information. It means opportunities. Children need options to process materials and grow their skills in ways that are safe, comforting, and thought-provoking. And third, we need to consider multiple means of engagement. This refers to looking to children's interests and the ways they connect to the world around them. It means accessibility. Children need you to prepare their environment so that they can reach their potential each and every day. So there you go. Easy, right? Now you know everything about universal design for early childhood classrooms. Wait, why are you so quiet? Should we go back? Let's go over a few more details. Representation, action, and engagement. When you think multiple means of representation, think diversity. This is the what. To support learning, offer information simply. Reduce bias in play materials and communication. Can children see themselves in the materials and still want to explore something new? When you think multiple means of action and expression, think opportunity. This is the how. To support understanding, consider tactile, auditory, and visual experiences. Can children express themselves to their fullest ability through verbal and nonverbal means? When you think multiple means of engagement, think accessibility. This is the why. This supports natural curiosity, invitations to play, and a sense of agency. Co-regulation resources and spaces are readily available. Can children make choices that supports their strengths and interests? Where to start? With intentionality. Create flexible play areas where children can play in groups or alone. Build choice into play. Post visuals that represent diverse actions and engagement with play materials. Look for barriers to access by looking through the lens of the children in your classroom. Children's learning is as unique as fingerprints, and that's why universal design for learning matters. Children will have the tools they need to grow and learn, and you will have a full toolbox. And it will be so joyful. It can work anywhere because it's universal.